Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Dragonmaid deck profile. So I'm really excited to do something for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful deck that just got an awesome new boss monster, Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name screenshot in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Chamber Dragonmaid. Chamber is definitely a 3-of in the build that has an awesome ability. If this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a Dragonmaid spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which we have a lot of good targets to be able to search off this card's effect. We then play 3 copies of Parlor. Parlor's definitely a 3-of as well, and probably the second best normal summon in the entire deck next to your copy of Chamber. With this card having the ability, if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually send a Dragonmaid card from your deck to the graveyard, essentially being a walking Foolish Burial. We can play a single copy of Kitchen Dragonmaid. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck, and I absolutely love playing this card, as this card is basically the Stratos of the deck. That if this card is normal or special summon, you add a Dragonmaid monster from your deck to your hand, extend another copy of this card, then send a Dragonmaid monster from your hand to the graveyard. We then play a single copy of Nurse Dragonmaid. Nurse is really cool, but just as a 1-of in the build, because this card has an effect that if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually target a level 4 lower Dragonmaid monster in the graveyard and special summon it back to your side of the field, which is a great ability to be able to use to bring back one of your Dragonmaid monsters to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Lupar. Lupar is really good as a 1-of in the deck to help you tag out your other Dragonmaid monsters into their dragon form, so that you can go in for game. But this card also has the ability you can discard this card, and then target a face-up monster on the field, and players cannot activate that target's effect on the field, which is a pretty cool effect for this card to have. Also, during the end of the battle phase, you can actually tag this card out and return it back to the hand, and if you do, special summon a level 3 Dragonmaid monster from your hand, which is a great ability. We can play a single copy of Ernest. Ernest is really good as a 1-of in the deck, because this card has a really cool effect to help you swarm the board. The quick effect, you can discard this card to special summon a level 4 or lower Dragonmaid monster in the hand, so that you can bring out your Dragonmaids to your side of the field. This card also at the end of the battle phase tags out for your copy of Nurse, which is really nice to be able to tag out for your copy of your Nurse Dragonmaid. We then play 3 copies of Dark and Dragon. Dark and Dragon is definitely a 3-of in the deck to help us summon out our copy of Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. This card is a walking polymerization and super easy to summon to your side of the field by actually banishing a level 8 dragon monster from your axe deck. You can instantly special summon this card in your hand, which is a great ability to instantly get this card out on the field, but for the rest of the turn you can't special summon except for dragon monsters, which is not that big of a deal because that's usually all we're summoning anyways. This card is amazing in the build as a 3-of because it makes it super easy to step into fusion monsters. We then play 3 copies of Light and Dragon. Light End is definitely a 3-of as well in the deck. This card is also a walking polymerization in the deck, and really easy to summon because all you have to do is banish a level 8 dragon monster from your axe deck to be able to special summon this card from the hand, which is a great effect. This card is also walking polymerization, making it super easy to step into the exact fusion monster that you need. We then play 3 copies of Lubellion. Lubellion is definitely a 3-of in the build and helps out a lot in the deck. You can easily summon this card from your hand or your graveyard by actually tributing a level 6 or higher dark dragon monster. And this card also has the effect that you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add a bestial monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card. And also during your main phase, you can place a branded continuous spell or trap from your deck face up on the field, which is an awesome ability to get your copy of your branded beast on your side of the field, so you can use beast effect to be able to place your copy for gain, so you can get the entire lock going. We then play a single copy of Magnamut. Magnamut is definitely a 1-of in the build, and all of your level 6 bestial monsters actually share a common effect that lets you target a light or dark monster in either player's graveyard and banish it. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand, and it's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. But this card's unique abilities, if this card is special summon, you can activate this effect, and during the end phase of this turn you get to add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. We then play a single copy of Druid Worm. Druid Worm is just really good at spot removing cards off the field. Play a single copy of Solanair. Solanair is also really good in the deck as a one-of to basically just use this card that if it touches the graveyard, you can send a bestial monster or a branded spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard, usually sending your copy of Regained from your deck to the graveyard off this card's effect. We then play a single copy of Baldrake. Baldrake's amazing in the deck as a one-of as well to help you spot remove cards off the field, and just a really good one-of in the deck. I really like playing them at 1 each in this build with the 3 copies of Lubellion, as it makes it the most variety in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon. Black Metal Dragon is really good as a 3-of in the build because this card is a great effect that if this card does touch the graveyard from the field, you can add a Red Eyes monster from your deck to your hand, or Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand, which we're always adding our copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. But this card is great to be able to summon out to your side of the field, link it away for your copy of Striker Dragon, then add your copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal from your deck to your hand. We then play a single copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. This card is definitely a one-of in the deck to be able to add off your copy of your Black Metal Dragon so that you can basically use this card as a monster reborn. It's very easy to summon out to your side of the field because basically the game plan for this card is to be able to normal summon out your copy of Black Metal Dragon, and once you do, you can basically link it away for Striker Dragon, search out your copy of your Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, banish Striker Dragon, bring this card out to your side of the field, use this card's effect to bring back your copy of your Black Metal Dragon, and then link them away for Hieratic Seals at the bare minimum off of just normal summoning off a copy of Black Metal Dragon. We then play 2 copies of Assault Synchron. Assault Synchron is really cool as a 2-of in the deck to basically just use this card to help us synchro summon into the exact cards that we need. Is to be able to summon this card out to our side of the field, all we have to do is take 700 points of damage, but while it's on the field, we can only go in for synchro plays, but it's really good to be able to summon out to our side of the field to go in for some awesome synchro summons like Dispatter or even Chaos Angel. We then also play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of in the build to round out the monsters, to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Branded Regained. Branded Regained is really good as a 1-of in the deck because if a light or dark monster is banished, you can actually target one of those banished monsters and place that monster on the bottom of the deck, and if you draw a card. Also, once per turn, if your opponent normally special summons a monster, you can actually target a bestial monster in the graveyard and special summon it, which is an awesome ability to be able to use. We then play a single copy of Dragonmaid Changeover. Changeover is an awesome fusion spell to help us go in for the exact fusion play that we need. And this card also has an awesome graveyard effect that if this card's in the graveyard, you can actually target a Dragonmaid monster that you control and add it back to your hand. If you do, return this card back to your hand as well, which is a great effect to be able to basically bounce one of your Dragonmaids off the field and add this card from grave to hand, which is a really cool effect. So then you can activate this card and go in for a fusion play. A really cool strategy in the deck is to be able to normal summon out your copy of Parlor, send this card to the graveyard, and once you do, bounce a copy of Parlor back to hand, drop this card, and go in for the exact fusion play that you need to. We then play 3 copies of Hospitality. Hospitality is really good as a 3-of in the build to let you special summon a Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, then send a Dragonmaid monster with the same attribute but a different level from your deck to the graveyard, essentially the dragon form, which is amazing to be able to do, so you can tag your Dragonmaids in and out for the exact cards that you need. But this card is great to be able to play in the deck basically as a monster reborn. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Branded Beast. Branded Beast is really good in the deck as a 1-of to be able to use this card as a pop on the field, but also be able to use this card to be able to put your copy of your Branded Regained back from the graveyard that Solanair sent to the graveyard so that you can basically put it back on the field with your copy of Beast. We then play 3 copies of Tidying. Tidying is really good as a 3-of in the build because this card is a great effect to let you target a dragon monster that you control and 1 card your opponent controls or in their graveyard and return them back to the hand. But you can also banish this card in the graveyard to special summon a Dragonmaid monster from your graveyard or your hand in defense position, but return it back to the hand during the end phase, which is a great effect to be able to help you get monsters out on your side of the field. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with a single copy of Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. This card is one of my new favorite fusion monsters. It basically just says no to everything. Literally everything. This card is so easy to summon out to your side of the field, just requiring a light level 8 dragon monster plus a light level 8 dark dragon monster, which is very easy to use in this deck because we are playing the Light and Darkness dragons in the main deck. But this card also has the ability that must be fusion summoned, and while face up on the field, this card is also a dark monster. And once per chain, if a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated, quick effect, this card loses exactly 1,000 attack and defense, and if it does, negate the activation. That is a mandatory effect that it does go off to be able to negate something, which is a really interesting effect that it instantly becomes a triple negate on your side of the field. So you want to summon this card out last to your side of the field, but it's amazing once it hits the field to basically just negate everything. This card also has the ability, if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target a dragon monster in your graveyard and special summon it, which is a really cool ability to have. We then play 2 copies of Dragonmaid Yugioh. This card is really good as a 2-of in the deck because it's our main boss monster of the deck, because during each standby phase you can special summon a level 9 or lower Dragonmaid monster from your hand or your graveyard, and when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can actually negate the activation if you destroy that card. Also after that, return this card back to the extract if you special summon a House Dragonmaid from your extract, essentially tagging it out for your copy of House. We then play 2 copies of House Dragonmaid. House is really good as a 2-of in the deck because once per turn during the standby phase, you can target one other Dragonmaid monster you control and special summon a Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position who's 1 level higher or lower than that monster. Also, when another face-up dragon monster you control returns back to the hand, you can actually target 1 monster opponent controls and destroy it, which is a great effect to be able to pop a card on the field. We play a single copy of Borreload Furious Dragon. Furious Dragon is one of our targets to send to the graveyard off of Light and Darkness Dragon from the main deck of their effects to be able to send this card from the extract to the graveyard to be able to summon themselves out to your side of the field, which is a really cool thing to basically use Light in and Dark in your hand to be able to send this card to the grave and then summon themselves out to your side of the field so you can step into your copy of Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. Then play a single copy of Dispatter. Dispatter is just amazing in the deck overall because it's very easy to step into this card with your copy of Assault Synchron. This card lets you target a banished light or dark monster and special summon it back to the field. Also, this card is a walking negate, which is why we play it in the deck. And play a single copy of Chaos Angel, which is one of the few non-dragon monsters we play in the entire deck, but this card is just too good not to play in the build. But this card is amazing to be able to summon out to your side of the field because if you use light monsters and single monster you control are unaffected by your opponent's monster's effects that are activated. If you use dark, then monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you don't even have to use a tuner to make this card, which is amazing. And this card also spot removes a card off the field. Then play a single copy of Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. This card is amazing to be able to send to the graveyard off of your Light in or your Dark in Dragon to be able to summon them out to your side of the field, or you can use this card as a board wipe and a burn for the deck, which is really cool. Then play a single copy of Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. This card is really good in the deck as a 1-of to be able to use with your copy of Dispatter to use Assault Synchron plus any of your level 6 Bestial monsters, and then Synchro summon into this, bring back Assault Synchron, and then step into your copy of Dispatter, which is really cool to be able to do. Then play a single copy of the Hieratic Dragon King of Atum. This card is very easy to summon with your Bestials and helps you special summon the exact dragon you want directly from your deck to your side of the field. Play a single copy of Typhon. Typhon is just too good not to play. This card and your copy of Chaos Angel are the only non-dragons we play in the entire deck besides hand traps, but this card is really good to be able to play in the build. We then played 2 copies of Hieratic Seal. Hieratic Seal is great to be able to balance cards off the field, plus this card is full combo, which is amazing, but this card is great in the deck as a 2-of. And then finally play a single copy of Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon is just really good as a link 1 to get a monster off the field, like our copy of Black Metal or a copy of Chamber Dragonmaid, depending on the play you're going for. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Dragonmaid deck before, definitely give this build a try because it's super fun to be able to play, especially to summon out Light and Darkness Dragon Lord, which is such a powerful monster. Just remember, it is a mandatory effect to be able to negate, which is very important until basically it reaches 400 and it can no longer basically reduce its attack points, which is really interesting about this card. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.